Before we move on to basketball, VZ, I think we need to make our predictions here on Jared Verse because we will know by next week on this, on where and what Jared Verse intends on doing. Where do we think Florida State star defensive player, or what do you think Jared Verse is going to do, guys? Are we leaning towards staying, or are we leaning towards going at Wednesday at 9:16? Wait a second, hold up. I'm just kidding. He did not. No announcement tonight.
Maybe. Hey, maybe. Never know.
You never know. We had the Daryl Jackson one here live.
He might like his late nights, so
he might. Although let's do this in the morning. Verse. Let's do it in the morning, so then you have all.
Please don't do it in the morning, because Logan, I don't know what time you're getting up anymore. Now it's the off season.
I know. I will say I am really liking the sleep that I'm having this week. I'm getting my week's worth of sleep, and then we're going to get back to getting up at 8:00. But I'm enjoying my sleep. I do have to say it's been a long last couple of weeks. I
get up about 8:00 Pacific time.
Shut up. Where do you think Jared Verse is going?
If I had to guess,
he's not going, but what do you think he's picking?
Oh, he's going.
Yeah, where's he going? Where's he transferring to? Yeah, he's transferring out of Florida State. Wasn't big enough. We're heading to Georgia.
I don't think he should, but I really think at this point he's probably going to end up coming back. In my opinion, if you've got a first-round grade, you should go ahead and make that leap to the NFL. And I've said before, I think he would absolutely kill the pre-draft process just with the way that he is both on the field and off the field. I think a lot of teams would end up falling in love with Jared Verse, the person, as much as Jared Verse, the player. But, yeah, just based on how this has been going the last couple of weeks and that we haven't heard anything so far, I'm leaning towards him coming back.
It honestly makes no sense for him to come back.
Right.
Between the production, the physical skill set that he has, between his size, his speed, his athleticism, his effort, his mentality, his charisma, his personality, everything. It makes no sense for him to come back. And I think at worst, he's a top 45 pick?
Mm-hmm. Definitely second round.
There's no reason for him to come back. But at the same time, the longer this goes, you're like, is he actually coming back? The fact that it's even 50-50 is absurd. I think I'm leaning towards him staying right now, but as of an hour ago, I thought he was leaving. So it can change.
It changes up and down, up and down. Yeah, no, I was high on him since D-Lou, you and I got to speak with him on the phone. He was driving. He was getting ready to be traveling to Tallahassee, and just instantly, just kind of the way that he presented himself. He said, I'm coming in, I want to get better and I want to compete. And he did that and earned a starting job. I was very high on him in the spring. I said, this guy is a different caliber kind of athlete. He's a Jermaine Johnson level guy, but just younger. And that's really attractive to NFL scouts. And I'm sure he's heard some really good things. I'm sure he's heard some things that maybe he doesn't want to be late in the second round, mid-second round, yada, yada, yada. But I think just the way that he presents himself and the way that he really will wake up a team, D-Lou. I was texting you guys. I was like, Jared Verse is he's talking shit walking into practice. He's getting into the running backs' ears. He's talking to the offensive lineman. He's talking shit to Coach Atkins, Florida State's offensive line coach. That's just who Jared Verse is. But for a first-year guy, just a couple-month guy in the spring doing that was just something we hadn't seen in Florida State's football program. But he could chirp and talk, but also back it up. And we saw it in practices. He would go against Florida State's best offensive tackles. He'd go against Robert Scott. He would dominate there, and then he would go on to dominate. We saw him on prime time against LSU do what we kind of expected him to do, just off of the people like us getting to see him at practice. It was no shock to us. The only reason he's coming back is because of, the friendships that he's made, the brotherhood, and he's built that. The only reason to be for a national championship. There's no other doubt about it that if that's going to be the case, that's the reason why. And I understand that he can be a personal person. He can care only about himself, selfish. You at this point, you kind of got to be selfish and look, hey, if there's a risk of getting injured, then I lose my draft stock, yada, yada, yada. But it's simply to go make a run for a playoff run. You go to the ACC championship playoff run and hopefully to be able to reach a national championship. And that's the mentality that Jared Verse is wanting to bring in. I wouldn't give him any kind of heat if he doesn't want to, like, go to the league. I want him to go to the league. I thought he should, but that would be the only thing in my mind, in my brain, that I could wrap around of why Jared Verse is still kind of not wanting, not make an announcement yet. He could have done this way earlier and said, before the bowl game, this was going to be my last game as an FSU Seminole, but that just hasn't been the case yet. I'm still wondering why this has taken a little while. I feel like Florida State's could be bringing back their star defensive player along with their other star defensive player, Fabian Lovett, in 2023 right now on Wednesday at 9:21 p.m.
I'm just glad he didn't get in a car accident whenever he was doing that live. Man,
God, that was scary. That was scary. I want to go back and listen to that podcast.
Can we pull over, please?
Yeah, please. I was about to say, let's just end this and we'll do this later. But yeah, that just goes to show, like, he would be missed definitely more than, games, obviously, but practices in the locker room. Florida State and Mike Norvell does a really good job of bringing in transfers. Like Jordan Travis said this last week during bowl week that, he does a better job. Norvell does a better job of bringing in good people first and then talents up next after that. And Jared Verse was one of those, because you can't come in cocky like that, man, to Florida State talking all that shit. And then you've got veterans on the team too. You can't do that. You can do it though if you back it up and also be a good person off the field. And he said it to us after a few practices. He said, I can talk that, but whenever my cleats get off of this grass, it changes, man. And it's been the same way for the coaches, all the other players, assistants, trainers, everybody. Things change once you leave the practice field. And Jared Verse is a special guy, and whatever ends up happening, going to pull for him. But we'll see. The next show that we'll have, we'll be talking about it, whatever decision he ends up making. Hey guys, this is Logan. Definitely appreciate you for watching the entire video. If you wouldn't mind, definitely hit that like button down below. Leave a comment on what you thought about the video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys haven't yet either, make sure you're signed up on our Patreon. This is where we're giving our inside news, inside nuggets, recruiting scoop, and so much more daily. You guys can sign up for that at patreon.com/NoleGameday. It's the cheapest option out of any outlet covering Florida State athletics right now at $2.99 a month. I highly suggest going to check it out. Once again, patreon.com/NoleGameday. Come hang out with us. See you guys there, and thank you for watching.